Handling payments across different countries used to be one of the most frustrating parts of running my online business, between dealing with different currencies, worrying about security, and just trying to make sure I got paid on time. It felt like I needed a whole separate team just to handle the transactions. I've used a few different services to try and streamline things, and most either, lacked the features I needed or had a steep learning curve. Finally, one of my team members suggested Paysafe, and after seeing all the tools it has for both online and in-store payments, I agreed to test it out and see if it could help us. And today I'm sharing my experience with Paysafe. We've been using them for the past few months now, so I'm going to take you through how it all worked, from selling things up to processing global payments and handling fraud protection, before getting into some pros and cons and what stood out to me along the way. So if you've been looking for a solution to manage your business transactions, stick around to see whether Paysafe could be the right choice for you and your company. All right, so if you haven't heard of Paysafe, it's a very popular payment processing company that services more than 70 countries and supports over 40 different currencies. And what actually caught my attention was just how many different tools they offer under one system. I've been juggling around a few separate services, one for credit cards, another for digital wallets, and it was starting to feel like like a mess. But Paysafe combines in-person and online payment processing with fast payouts and no long-term contracts. I did notice some familiar partner brands under their wing: Skrill, Neteller, Paysafe Card, along with a few others. Now, I've tried Skrill before, and knowing that it was part of the same ecosystem gave me some reassurance as far as performance. On top of that, their services are geared towards industries like e-commerce, gaming, and digital marketing, which happen to overlap with the space that I work in, so that really made me want to give them a try. Honestly, I was very curious to see how all of their features would work together in practice. Now, getting started with Paysafe was much simpler than I expected. The sign-up process is pretty straightforward. You just fill out some business details on their website, go through a short verification step, and once everything checks out, you're in. I didn't have any major issues during setup, which was a welcome change compared to some platforms that make onboarding feel like applying for a mortgage. Now, once you're in, integrating Paysafe into your site will depend on how your business is actually set up. They offer APIs and SDKs that let you connect directly with platforms like Shopify, WooCommerce, and Magento. In my case, I mainly use Shopify and WooCommerce, and the integration went pretty smooth with both. I wouldn't say it's plug and play, but if you're even slightly comfortable around tech, or you've got a developer helping you out, it's very manageable. Now, the dashboard is where Paysafe really made an impression. It's very clean, easy to navigate, and packed with useful tools. I could view real-time analytics, track transactions, and generate reports without digging through cluttered menus. It made managing payments feel a lot less overwhelming, especially when I just wanted quick insights into customer behavior or some sales trends. Now, security-wise, they're pretty solid. Paysafe includes PCI compliance, tokenization, and fraud detection that's powered by machine learning. On top of that, the online checkout is backed by authorized.net, which is a Visa company, so I felt pretty confident about the safety of the transactions. Now, let's talk cost. So Paysafe runs on an interchange plus pricing model, which is actually great if you want a clear breakdown of what you're paying for. So it works by passing through the actual interchange rates and dues set by the card networks, which could be Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Discover, and then tacking on a markup of 0.50% plus 0.10 cents per transaction. So you're not getting hit with random flat rate pricing. Instead, you see exactly what's going on to the card networks and what Paysafe is charging on top of that. There's also a monthly customer service fee of $7.95. And if you get hit with a chargeback, it's going to cost you $25. Not ideal, but pretty standard for the industry. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that the interchange rates themselves vary based on a bunch of factors, like whether the transaction was in person or online, what type of card was used, and what industry your business falls under. So your total cost per transaction can fluctuate just a little bit. In my case, I like that the pricing felt more transparent than what I'd seen with other providers, and there weren't any other sneaky lock-in contracts either, which was a huge bonus. So if you want to try Paysafe for your business, then make sure to check out the affiliate link in the description below, where you can sign up and access special deals that you won't find if you go directly to their website. Now, like I mentioned, I've spent the past few months learning my way around Paysafe, and I feel like I've gotten a pretty good sense of both its strengths and where it could use some improvement. So what really sets them apart is just how versatile it is. It can support businesses across all kinds of different industries, and you can also customize how you accept payments. Whether you're in e-commerce, hospitality, gaming, or digital services, the platform adapts to your needs without feeling bloated or overly complex. I myself run many online businesses, but it's nice to know that if I did ever open up a physical location or expand it into new sales channels, Paysafe could easily scale with me. Now, speaking of channels, the multi-channel support is honestly one of my favorite features. You can accept payments online through mobile apps or in store with their hardware options. On top of that, there's support for things like pay by link, subscription billing, and even QR code payments, thanks to their integration with Applova, which is super handy for restaurants. I tested out the digital invoicing and pay by link options, and they worked without any hiccups. Now, another major draw is their global reach. I have clients in Europe and Asia, and being able to accept payments in over 40 currencies without needing to manually convert or set up new accounts saves so much time and effort. And like I mentioned, Paysafe operates in more than 70 countries, so if you're aiming to go international or already are, it's a great option. Though that said, while Paysafe is compatible with major e-commerce platforms like Shopify and WooCommerce, it doesn't offer as many native integrations as some of the bigger names like Stripe or Square. It's not a huge problem since most people use the popular e-commerce platforms anyway, but it's something to keep in mind if you're going in a different direction. Now, another standout for me is the range of payment methods. Paysafe supports over 250 of them, from traditional credit and debit cards to more niche digital wallets, virtual wallets, and even local bank transfer systems, depending on where your customers are. And this is a pretty big deal if you're selling internationally. When customers can pay the way that works for them, it helps reduce cart abandonment and keeps those conversions up. Now, for scalability, I started using Paysafe with just a few dozen transactions per month, and the system didn't feel limiting. Then after I scaled up, it handled higher volumes just as easily. So the flexibility is there, whether you're just starting out or processing thousands of transactions a week. All in all, my experience with Paysafe has been very solid. It checks off most of the boxes I care about: flexibility, strong security, global capability, and smooth day-to-day performance. But if you're still shopping around and exploring other services, there's a good chance you've come across Payment Cloud alongside Paysafe. I've gotten to use both, and while they serve similar purposes, they definitely cater to different needs in practice. So let's take a quick look at how they compare. Starting with Paysafe, it's more of a global platform than you can use to handle everything from one place. Designed for businesses of all sizes, it shines when you need multi-channel support, which can be online, in person, or mobile. And like we've covered, it has the edge in international reach. So if your business deals with customers overseas, it has a huge advantage. On top of that, with multiple payment methods, Paysafe gives you way more flexibility when it comes to customer transactions. Meanwhile, Payment Cloud is best known for working with high-risk merchants. Think CBD, adult content, vape shops, or anything that tends to get flagged by traditional processors. They don't offer a built-in payment gateway like Paysafe does with Authorize.net, but they do excel at helping high-risk businesses find a home through their vast network of back-end processors. Now, for ease of use, I have to give it to Paysafe since I found its dashboard more modern and user-friendly, especially with its real-time analytics baked in. Payment Cloud works more like a white glove service, so it's less DIY and more about having an agent guide you through its setup. So if you're in a high-risk space and need help getting approved, Payment Cloud might be the better fit. But if you're after international support and a scalable self-managed platform, then obviously Paysafe is the way to go. So to sum it all up, since using Paysafe as my main payment solution for many of my businesses, I can honestly say it's a great choice for anyone looking for an easy and flexible way to accept payments. It's built to handle everything from online and in-store transactions to international sales without making things too complicated. I really appreciate the simplicity, its wide range of payment options, and the very smooth dashboard experience. Now, it's not perfect, but all things considered, if you're looking for a reliable, scalable solution that doesn't lock you into long-term contracts, I would highly suggest giving Paysafe a try. And that's all for this review. I hope you found this video helpful. And if you did, then please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see more just like this. Like I mentioned, if you want to get started with Paysafe for your business, then don't forget to check out the affiliate link down in the description below to sign up and get special deals that you're not going to find if you go directly through their website. Now, as always, I enjoy hearing your thoughts, so go ahead and leave any questions or comments down below, and I'll try and get back to them as fast as I can. Finally, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.